home and Star Alliance Gold members.
Let's better. You're going to downstairs because this one.
Your attention please. This is final recall from Miss Law Adi ASEAN. Miss Law Adi ASEAN, passenger of area airline SQ947 leaving for Dubai. Would you please pick up seat number 4 immediately? Thank you.
A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Your captain speaking. My name is Eric. On behalf of my crew, I'd like to welcome you aboard the Singapore Airlines service, flight 947 on the return leg from Bali to Singapore. And with me in the flight today is my colleague, Senior First Officer Saeed. In the cabin, Joint Flight Manager will be Mr. Edwin Tan, and I trust that our wonderful set of cabin crew will ensure that you're well looked after. At the present moment, we are just waiting for the last few cargo pallets to be loaded. We should be on our way within the next 5 to 10 minutes. And the flight time today will be approximately 2 hours and 15 minutes, 2:15. And if you're interested to follow the progress of the flight, you may do so via the flight path channel in your in-seat video entertainment system. For safety reasons, may I also strongly recommend that you have your seatbelts fastened whenever you're seated. In the meantime, I leave you in the good hands of the cabin crew, and Senior First Officer Saeed will speak to you again before we commence our descent into Singapore with the latest weather update.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on board the Singapore Airlines flight SQ947 to Singapore. We are pleased to be carrying passengers of our Star Alliance and codeshare partners. All electronic devices must now be put in flight safe mode. Please approach our cabin crew if you require assistance. We wish you a pleasant flight. Cabin crew, all doors are closed.
Cabin crew, arm all doors and cross-check. Ladies and gentlemen, please give your attention to the safety video, which will now be shown.
Welcome aboard Singapore Airlines. As the safety equipment on this aircraft may differ from that on other aircraft, please give us your attention as we bring you through this important safety briefing and on a journey through Singapore. During takeoff and landing, ensure that your tray table is stowed away. Put the back of your seat upright and keep your shoes on. Before we take off, stow your luggage under the seat in front of you or in the overhead compartments. Make sure that your seat belt is securely fastened during taxi, takeoff, and landing. To fasten, bring the two ends of the seat belt together until you hear a click. Tighten it by pulling on the strap. To unfasten, lift the metal flap. We recommend keeping your seat belt fastened throughout the flight. Whenever the seat belt sign is turned on, infants should be lifted from the bassinet and secured with an infant seat belt. If there is a change in cabin pressure, an oxygen mask will automatically drop in front of you. Pull the mask down sharply. Place it over your mouth and nose. Pull the lateral straps to tighten it and breathe as usual. Secure your mask first before helping others. It is normal for the bag to not fully inflate. There are several emergency exits in this aircraft. Take a few moments now to locate your nearest exit, which may be behind you. Count the rows of seats to the closest exit in front and behind you. In the unlikely event of an emergency, or when you hear the command, brace, brace, assume the brace position. If you can reach the seat in front of you, lower your head and place it on the back of the front seat. Place your hands on top of your head. Keep your feet flat on the floor and heels towards your seat. If you can't reach the seat in front of you, lower your head and lean forward as far as you can. place your hands on top of your head. In an emergency evacuation, floor-level lighting will lead you to your nearest exit. Before using an evacuation slide, remove any high-heeled shoes and be sure to leave everything behind. To put on your life vests, remove it from the plastic cover and slip it over your head. Pass the straps around your waist, connect the clip, and pull to tighten. Inflate the life vest by pulling the red tabs or blowing into the mouthpiece. Life vests have a whistle and a light to attract attention. Special life vests are available for children. Inflate your life vest only at the exit door and step into the raft. Life vests are located under or between your seats. All large electronic devices, such as laptops, must be stowed for taxi, takeoff, and landing. Lightweight electronic devices, such as mobile phones and tablets, must be switched off or set to flight mode. During these times, charging your electronic devices is also not allowed. If you're not using your device, it must be held in your hand or placed in the seat pocket in front of you. If your device drops into the gap between the seats, refrain from adjusting the seat and ask the cabin crew for assistance. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight. Smoking, including the charging and use of e-cigarettes, is prohibited throughout the aircraft, including the lavatories. Thank you for your attention. Refer to the safety card located in the seat pocket in front of you for more information. On behalf of Singapore Airlines, we hope you have a great time on board as well as in Singapore or anywhere else in the world we take you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin lights will now be dim. If you'd like to read, please turn on your reading lights. Thank you.
Cabin crew to your takeoff stations.
Ladies and gentlemen, please fasten your seatbelt and draw up your window shades. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your captain speaking. We are currently climbing above some weather clouds in the area. For your safety, please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened. We'll get the service to begin as soon as possible once you're clear of the weather. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your safety, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign is turned off. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, due to turbulence, please return to your seat and fasten your seatbelt. Thank you.
A very good evening to you all, ladies and gentlemen. This is your pilot, Senior First Officer Syed. We'll be commencing our descent into Singapore very shortly. The estimated time of arrival this evening is 10:30. That's 10:30 p.m. local time in Singapore. As you must be aware, there's no time difference between Denpasar and Singapore. As for the weather, based on the latest update, it's a fairly warm evening in Singapore with a surface temperature of 28 degrees Celsius. We hope you have enjoyed your flight with us. On behalf of the captain and the rest of the crew, we would like to thank you again for choosing Singapore Airlines. Cabin crew, prepare for arrival.
Ladies and gentlemen, before our arrival in Singapore, all visitors must complete an immigration form. Please note the warning on the form about the severe penalties for drug offences in Singapore. And do note that this flight will be arriving at Singapore Changi Airport Terminal 2. And in preparation for arrival, please return to your seat, put your seat back upright and fasten your seatbelt. Secure your tray table, handset and footrest, and ensure your window shades are drawn up. Please also note where the emergency exits are located. Thank you.
Cabin crew, secure the cabin for landing. Cabin crew to your landing stations.
Welcome to Singapore, ladies and gentlemen, and to all Singaporeans and residents of Singapore. A warm welcome home. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign is turned off. If you have a connecting flight on Singapore Airlines, please note that the boarding gate will close 10 minutes before the scheduled departure time. Please take care when opening the overhead compartments and remember to take all your belongings with you. It's been our pleasure serving you on this flight. Thank you for flying Singapore Airlines, a member of Star Alliance.
Crew doors to the SAM.